Hi everybody, welcome to TIA Now. I'm Clarence Reynolds. The city of the future is on the way. It'll be smarter, safer, and easier to maneuver because of data-rich technology. Here to discuss the development of smart cities is Mike Zito. He is General Manager and Executive Director of AT&T Smart Cities, and he also has several new developments just announced here at Mobile World Congress. Mike, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Clarence.
Now, before we get to the big announcements, tell us about the Smart Cities Operations Center and the value that it brings to smart city ecosystems.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our Smart City Operations Center allows the city to aggregate disparate data streams from across the silos and the different systems that it takes to run the cities, and then bubble that up into one place, one dashboard, if you will, that allows a mayor, council, and frankly citizens even to have transparency into the data that they're gathering from the different connected devices and sensors that are helping the city be more efficient, more livable, and safer. And then they're able to make real-time decisions based on that data. And so it's really important that you're breaking down the silos and you're aggregating all that data into one place so that then you can apply the analytics and then make sense of it and go from being reactive to being proactive, which is really what the cities want to do.
Now, there have been some major developments, some new announcements here at Mobile World Congress. Tell us about that.
Yeah, a couple of real big announcements. I mean, one, we've signed a new city in the United States, the city of Portland. They're going to be deploying two of our solutions. One is actually our AT&T digital infrastructure. It's a sensor node that has multiple cameras, environmental sensors, and then audio sensors. Can detect gunshots. Cameras can be used for public safety, monitor parking, and drive efficiency around traffic and pedestrian movement. You also have structure monitoring. It's a solution that we just developed in partnership with IBM and announced it in January. And you can actually monitor elevated structures, so roads and bridges, overpasses, and be able to understand if the vibration of those structures, if there's cracks in them, and the tilt, and all that data be pushed back real time into an IBM data and analytics solution, which could be bubbled up into Operations Center. And then we've just announced a couple of new partnerships. One is with Ubiquia. That is a solution that allows you to control an LED light remotely, and then also add some communications capabilities to it. That could be public Wi-Fi, or allow you to plug in aftermarket sensors and leverage some edge processing. So that's very important to working with the utilities and the vertical assets. And then we have Synchronous, a company that one of our former leaders went to that will allow us to create some digital experiences in the smart city space. And then lastly, I think one of the biggest announcements is a renewed relationship with Cisco and their Kinetic platform, allowing us to really have a global go-to-market strategy now with Smart City Operations Center, where we'll take all the device data and disparate system data into Cisco Kinetic platform, and then visualize it in that Smart City Operations Center dashboard.
Now, you mentioned Portland, which is one of the older cities in the country. Is legacy infrastructure a barrier to building a smart city?
Here's the thing with smart cities. It's been around for 10, 15 years, right? At the end of the day, there was Smart Cities 1.0, which was really all about City Hall. There was Smart Cities 2.0, which is sort of now, this next 10-year period, where you're bringing the citizens into play and getting feedback, breaking down the silos across the city and across the region. And then Smart Cities 3.0, where you're leveraging 5G, and you've got autonomous vehicle, and you've got drones, and you're going from being reactive to being proactive and predictive, right? And I think the thing that's a challenge is scale, right? Because you've got to actually go out and touch every one of these light poles or water mains or fire hydrants or parking meters. So it doesn't matter whether the city's old or new. There's always going to be a challenge when you're trying to scale these things out and go from having a lot of smart pilots or smart projects to truly creating smart cities.
So you mentioned the components that are necessary for a smart city. Are there any missing pieces that you're still working on?
The technology's all there, right? What's missing is a holistic strategy, and that's why 2.5 years ago, we were actually the first carrier to stand up a dedicated smart cities business. And 2.5 years ago, the first thing we did was announce an AT&T Smart City Framework, which would allow to help cities create a set of best practices and then actually create that holistic strategy. That's really what's been missing. The technology's there.
You mentioned the AT&T partnerships. Moving forward, Is that going to be essential to actually deployment of smart cities around the country?
Yeah, Clarence, no one company does it all. I mean, IoT is all about an ecosystem play. Smart cities especially is about an ecosystem play, whether it's the large companies or the startups, or getting the regional chambers involved, or the universities, the R&D universities. I've said it before, this is an evolution, not a revolution, and part of that is having more ecosystem players come together to really help move this forward and help cities become smarter.
Excellent. Well, Mike, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Clarence, appreciate it.